Hello everybody, it's Joe here, and welcome to an F1 23 mini-season. This is the beginning of it. This is round 1 of 13, this is Australia, and this will be the sprint race to said Australian Grand Prix. So without further ado, let's kick things off. There are 13 rounds, all of which go to 100% race distance.
Pedal to the metal all the way here as we get ready for today's sprint. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting sprint. Lando Norris put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Sargent, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Gasly, Magnussen, Albon, Joe, the owner driver, Bottas, Button, Ricciardo, and Yuki Tsunoda. And with preparations almost complete, let's head trackside for today's sprint.
So how is this going to work then? Well, every race will have a sprint and main event, but they will be separated. So each live stream will either be a sprint or a feature event from each meeting. Before moving on to the next one, I've chosen 13 tracks at random by basically closing my eyes and picking whatever circuit it lands on. So here we go then. We got 13 races. First up though is the Australian sprint race. My teammate is Jenson Button. We are, like I said, 100% distance. The grid is random for each sprint, and all cars are set to equal. Right, I think I've covered everything. Let's get this championship underway with the first sprint race at Melbourne. 19 laps ahead of us. And it is away, and we made a relatively good start. Gasly's trying to find room, and I'm trying to find space on the inside, but Albon is taking the space. I'm trying to find room on the inside again. I'm trying not to hit anyone as I go across the grass there. That's not the way to do that. But we have maintained place for the time being. And I wonder what the pace is going to be like. I'm having to try and not drive this like it's my team car, as Daniel Ricciardo there is getting very eager down the outside and now inside. But Ricciardo's got nowhere to go. And obviously this is the first race I've recorded that has featured Daniel Ricciardo, as all through my career mode we've had Nick De Vries. So Daniel Ricciardo is in and De Vries are out. Right, let's try and get past Zhou Guanyu here. The problem is though, with equal difficulty, overtaking could be quite challenging with all cars on equal. But we're now making a move for Zhou Guanyu. This could be it. Guanyu goes to cover. I'm going to try and have him round the outside. And we've had him up into P17. So the aim for the sprint is quite simple. Move up as many places as possible. Damage is on full. And we do have red flag switched on. So we could have the challenge of a red flag later on. But for now, it's the end of the first lap. There are just 18 to go. So this is just about it's a third distance of the actual F1 race. And given that normally on career mode I do 50% races, it's going to feel pretty close to that. Right. Next up is Kevin Magnussen, and then ahead of him is Albon. Lando Norris from that pole position then, still leading the way, and we're still in P17 as I try to find a way past Kevin Magnussen. Although I think I've got a little bit of a run on him here, and if we could be cheeky enough on the outside. No, I didn't get my line right. It's going to have to be the inside again. We're not going to take any unnecessary risks. Although Magnussen seemingly closer to Albon than we are to Kevin. And we might just have to bide our time a little bit here. As Hulkenberg and Gasly are getting very friendly. I'm trying to get past Magnussen, but there just isn't a way through at this moment in time. Just got to play something of a long game here. And Verstappen is now set the fastest lap, so I assume he's taken over the lead from Norris. But we're going to try and take over P16 from Kevin Magnussen. And I think we're going to do it here, but I want to do this without hitting Albon. I've gone a bit wide there, but I should let him back through. I should let him back through. That was an illegal move. And I let him back through because I completed the move off the circuit. We're not going to be completing moves illegally here. This is going to be legal. It's going to be fair. And we're back into the battle for 16th here. But I have a feeling I should be able to have a good run here. With a bit of help from DRS as well. Oh, Magnussen. Not quite sure where to go here. As he's also got DRS on Albon. And I worry in this configuration if DRS trains are going to be a thing. I think that's Logan Sargent up ahead as well. I know he was pretty high up on the grid. I think he was 11th. So Sargent is creating something of a train here. And Lando Norris retaking fastest lap of the race. It's literally to and fro here. I'd love to have seen what was going on up front, but that's not for us to worry about right now. I'm more worried about getting past the Haas of Kevin Magnussen. It's a long sprint. I think we're going to take a little risk here though, down the inside. And Magnussen's holding it for now. Oh, okay Kev, we'll tell you what, you do that. I'm going to hold my line here. And we're going to get past him. That was a ballsy overtake, wasn't it? Up into P16. And we are not waiting around. We are now getting a move on because up ahead of us is Alex Albon. And up ahead of him is Esteban Ocon. So we have moved up 2 places from our initial grid spot. And we are now into P16. Magnussen is trying to come back at us down the inside here. No way through there for K-Mag though. Not letting that one happen easily. Magnussen's still right on me here. But it's not going to happen. And it's Logan Sargent is falling through the field now. He's dropped another place, I think. And this could be our game. Right. We're still at the back of this train. And it's the end of lap 4. Out of 19. Still a little bit of a distance to go in this one yet. As I believe that's Ocon going for Hulkenberg. And Albon's lost a lot of momentum there, and I think we're going to take a place. We are going to take a place, and Ocon is very defensive in 3 as well. I believe that we can have Ocon if we just break a bit later. We have had Ocon. Who's gone round there? I don't know. Ocon's gone into us. And I think someone has had a moment. Daniel Ricciardo's out of the race. Now, did he have a moment or did his engine go up? We'll have a look at the end of the race. But it's the end of the road as far as this race goes for Daniel Ricciardo, as we now set sights on Nico Hulkenberg dead ahead. And he's also got his sights on Logan Sargent, so here we go. Can we set this move up early? Hulkenberg not wanting this to happen, showing us the graph, moving across, but I'm going to hold the line. Hulkenberg, no, not quite through yet. But we've still got an inside line here, and we make our way up into P13 ahead of Nico Hulkenberg. And I tell you what, the overtakes are starting to get ballsy now as I'm starting to settle into the rhythm of this race. Just a reminder that this live stream is for the sprint only. The feature race will be streamed possibly tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that. I want to try and stream every day if I can. At least every day there's no Grand Prix anyway. So we're now catching up to Logan Sargent to gain yet another place. Oh my goodness me, that was my heart in my coming out of my chest there as I go sideways there. That could have been a race-ending moment. I would like to know where Jensen Button is. Whoa!
Wow, that was a heck of an impact.
Okay, right, what we're going to do is we're going to have a replay and forget that happened, because I actually had a neck twinge of pain there, and we're going to forget that happened. That'll be the only time I do that in this whole championship. But my neck had a sudden moment of pain, and I had to take my eye off the screen. I didn't get to pause in time, so... It's funny, I was talking about race-ending moments and then that happened, but... Yeah, that will be the only time I ever use that. I had a twinge of pain in my neck and I didn't get to pause the screen in time. Right, anyway. Back onto the rear of Logan Sargent. In the fight for 12. So we are moving up the field, we're doing it quite slowly, but then again, you've got to think about the long game. There are still 13 laps left in the sprint, and a good result is still entirely possible. And we could still get a safety car, yeah, anything can happen. And don't forget the feature race, I think, will be 58 laps. We're just about getting onto the rear of this train now. So Sargent, who started out dropping down the field, hasn't actually fully dropped as quickly as I thought he would. And you know what, we're setting green sectors everywhere, because this is the first time I have had a clear lap. And there's Hamilton in the battle here, so Hamilton doesn't seem to be going as quickly as some would expect. I tell you what, I did fancy a little look up the inside of Sargent there, but we're not doing it there. That would just be asking for trouble.
Okay, you're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Let's keep pushing.
Piastri, what line was that? I could have sworn he was almost on the grass there. As Sargent holds the inside, I'm going to try and just sneak my car around the outside here. And that's exactly what we've done. We've now got clear of Logan Sargent. So we're up into P12. And Logan, I don't think, was expecting that one. I think we caught him a little bit napping there, while the other cars ahead battle. But the battling ahead is good for us, because the more these guys battle, the more it brings us into play. And Gasly is my next target, for who's currently in P11. Fernando Alonso is out. What's happened to him? Has he had a car issue, or has he had a moment? Judging from the way he's parked up, he's had a car issue. And Oscar Piastri was considering a look at Hamilton there, but he had to remember it was yellow flag territory and that he wasn't allowed to do it. So Piastri, while considering giving his home fans something to cheer about, I don't think they'd have cheered much about that one. Right. Hamilton is now holding P8, which is the first position you can score points from in a sprint race. Surprised we haven't seen the safety car yet. Piastri and Hamilton are going for it again. I'm trying not to get caught up in it. Gasly loses momentum. I take the place there, and guess what? Piastri... oh, sorry. Piastri's lost momentum too. I go around the outside, and I've taken them both. And that is P8 for us. We have left them both for chips. And now we're up to P9. And a World Championship point is beckoning. Sorry, I was losing my voice there for a minute. Right, we're right in the back of Hamilton now. But again, there's no real rush to overtake him. We can do it anywhere. Our best spot is probably around, well, it's probably going to be here. We can send one down the inside. No, Hamilton's got that covered. Although he did go a bit deep last minute. And Hamilton's still covering the outside. We're going to try and go down the inside. And we have got Lewis Hamilton. We are up into P8. Next up then is Lance Stroll in P7. So this has been a very solid drive through the field. And our next car to overtake is Lance Stroll.
Keep an eye on that gap ahead, please. 3.6 seconds.
So this really has not been a bad race at all then. We started in P18 and we've moved our way up into P8. I've got Lance Stroll in P7 ahead. He's about 3 seconds. The question is that going to be a catchable gap, or is that asking just a little bit too much at this stage? We're about halfway through this sprint race. I've got to tell you, I feel like realistically, to catch up Leclerc, a safety car will be needed. But to catch up Stroll, I think we could do it, providing we stay consistent over the next few laps. I think we are just about quicker than Stroll. The gap is about 3 seconds, so let's watch that over the course of the next couple of laps.
Information on Leclerc. They seem to have an issue.
Well, Leclerc's got an issue, so I thought he'd be hard to catch, but with that issue, that might make catching him just a little bit easier. And even in equal settings then, Charles Leclerc cannot escape the curse of bad luck. You gotta feel for him, really. I wonder what the issue is. Is it going to be one that slows him up by a lot, or is he just going to manage that nicely to the end of the race? Well, he was over 10 seconds ahead about half a lap ago. He's now 8.5 seconds ahead, so we are gaining on him quite quickly. And I wonder if him and Stroll are going to concertina towards us, meaning Stroll will catch Leclerc as we catch Stroll, and we might be able to nip 2 positions here. It's certainly worth a try. Also, Piastri has lost the place to Hamilton as well through all of that, so
5 seconds.
that has also happened. But Leclerc is definitely struggling quite a bit. He is now just about 8 seconds clear of us, and we are catching Stroll as well. So a potential for P6 is on the cards here, and that wouldn't be too shabby going into a 58 lap race. In fact, that would be really good going into the race if we could get into P6 or P7. Obviously P8 is still a good place to start. Hey Tash, what's up? Thank you for joining the stream. Don't forget to drop a like on this. It would be massively appreciated. Right, Leclerc is now 7.5 seconds up the road. Stroll is 2.5, so we are catching Stroll. And I do wonder, are we going to catch Stroll before he catches Leclerc? Because we're catching the Aston Martin quite quickly. The other Aston Martin, of course, of Fernando Alonso, is out of this sprint race, so he's going to have it all to do when the main event follows. But right now, my sights are set on Sir Lancelot in front of us. That's what Josh Revel calls him. I wonder though, is Leclerc going to sort the issue before we get to the end of the race? One thing that I am certain on is that we're going to try and get past Lance Stroll by the end. We've got 7 laps to go after this one, so not too long left in this sprint race. And I believe Piastri and Hamilton are still having their battle. I thought Piastri had been passed by Gasly, so Piastri's clearly having a massive battle with Hamilton and Gasly and co. Meanwhile, we're having our own battle now, so we're catching Stroll. We're in 8th place, so currently on for a championship point, but we could potentially make it 2, and maybe even 3 if we catch Leclerc too, because Leclerc is limping with a car that has an issue. So, first up is Lance Stroll, and we are catching him little by little, but we want to keep the momentum going. We've pulled out from Piastri and Hamilton now, and that wasn't the best run through that corner there. We've set a green first sector though, and I'm still catching Lance Stroll just by a little bit, and we're both closing in on Leclerc, so it looks like it is Constantinoing up, but it all depends on how long the issue lasts with Leclerc. As I get my first warning for exceeding track limits. That's fair. Piastri is 3.5 seconds behind me, so I'm not massively worried about him heading towards the end of the race. But now our sights are on Stroll because the gap is just over a second now, and we're getting close to getting within that DRS range of 1 second. That's the gap, 1 second, and we're in the range to open that rear wing flap that'll help us overtake. We just need 2 more tenths, and Leclerc is now 3.5 seconds ahead, and there's a massive battle ahead of us on the map. I don't know what position that's for. I know there's a McLaren involved because I saw the papaya dot. So there's a massive battle going on there, and I believe we're just about entering the range where we can start attacking Lance Stroll. Right, I'm going to preserve some overtake this lap and use it next lap to attack him. Here we go. And Leclerc is very close by too. What about Stroll? Is he doable here? I don't think so.
I think you're going to start losing some tyre grip anytime now.
Yeah, shut up. I want to run here. There is Charles Leclerc. The Ferrari is clearly limping. And that battle, what is going on ahead there? Because we've closed up to that. And we're getting a little bit of understeer now, trapped in the dirty air of the Aston Martin. But we're going to have a look at overtaking him. Stroll's going to go defensive. I'm going to go to the outside. We've gone round the outside. Got past Lance Stroll. Next up is Charles Leclerc. And that was a fierce overtake on the Aston Martin driver. Lance Stroll having no chance there. And now we are up to the limping Charles Leclerc with his car issue. Are we going to be able to take P6 from him here? You can even see that the car just does not look like it's working as it should be. Here we go now with a nice dose of slipstream. DRS. Let's go around the outside here. Can we pull off a ballsy overtake? Yes, we can. Round the outside, up into P6. And Lando Norris now is also limping. Is 5th going to be on the cards here? Norris just seems to be struggling with pace, and the driver that was on pole is now very much within range for us here. So I wonder what's happened to Lando. Has he taken a hit somewhere, or is he just struggling in general? Four laps to go here. And this race is just coming alive, because now we've caught Lando Norris too, and P5 could be on the cards here. What a drive this has been. From P18 to P5. And Lando Norris is definitely struggling with something, because he just does not seem to be very quick at all. I think that papaya McLaren has damage, and I think we're going to be past him relatively soon. Here we go. Lando Norris, clearly that car is not working as it should, and we are up now into P5 ahead of the McLaren, and we've now got Russell and Sainz ahead of us battling for 3rd. How intense is that battle going to get? And is there just the smallest chance that we are going to get a whiff of these two. We're now clear of Lando Norris, who has the fastest lap and started this thing first. So whatever happened to Lando, I don't know. Who is even leading? I think it's Verstappen with Perez in second, and Russell and Sainz are within 2.5 seconds of each other. So what can we do about these two? We've got 3 laps to go here. And I think these two, they're still going at each other. They're side by side round there. That's not going to help them. Look, this is just bringing me into this fight. Sainz and Russell having their battle is slowly bringing me into it. How is this going to go? We got literally 2.5 more laps. Sainz is couple of tenths behind. Russell's a couple of tenths behind Sainz, and they're battling intensely. And what that's doing is just bringing me back into the fight for third. Only a sprint race, I remind you, and the actual race will be streamed later, probably tomorrow. But for now, this opener.
Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more.
We're now within range of both of them, so you know what? I'm going to let them attack each other.
Okay, you're creating some breathing space between you and the
And Norris really has dropped back, and Stroll's got clear of Leclerc. Right, Stroll and Russell for third. Not Stroll and Russell, sorry, Sainz and Russell for third. Stroll's behind. Oh, I've gone really deep there. Luckily, that's cost me about a tenth, if even that. Oh, Russell's gone wide. Russell had a wide moment. Sainz lost momentum. And now suddenly the battle for third. Constantina's up. Sainz on the left, Russell on the right. I'm going to go for... Oh no, I wasn't going to go for both there, I did try. But I nearly lost the car. Sainz in third. We're in fourth. Oh my goodness me, I thought that was going to be a race-ending moment there. But now we are chasing down Carlos Sainz for third. We managed to get past George Russell. And now we're attacking the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. And there's a yellow flag dead ahead. What is happening ahead? There was a yellow flag. Is there drama up ahead? I do not know. I'm off the road there.
Okay, mate, this is the final lap of the race.
And Verstappen's going slowly. Verstappen is going very slowly. Verstappen is out of the sprint. And suddenly from P3, we've got P2 on the cards.
They're retiring.
This is on the last lap of the sprint race. Max Verstappen, who was leading it convincingly, finds himself out, and we now find ourselves in contention for P2.
Okay, just 2 laps of fuel remaining now.
Oh my goodness me, what a dramatic ending we have here. And as we chase down Carlos Sainz, but I think he might just be clear of us here. Sainz 4 tenths clear. Is it going to be worth a lunge? No. Sainz just about has it. Wow, what an end though. It is still going to be a top 3 for us as Lance Stroll goes for the top 5. But it's going to be a win in the first sprint of this championship for Sergio Perez. Carlos Sainz gets second, and we finish third from 18th.
Okay, pick up rubber.
What a sprint that was. Wow.
With the sprint wrapped up, we now have our grid line up for the big race tomorrow.
So that is how the race will line up for the main event when we stream it, which will probably be tomorrow. But there it is. Perez will line up on pole with Sainz second. We will start third when we do it. And then Russell gets fourth. Lance Stroll, a great drive in the Aston Martin, to get fifth. Lando Norris started first and just fell down the field. It didn't work out for him in the end in sixth. Piastri gets seventh, so double points for McLaren, and Esteban Ocon somehow ending up in the top 8 of all that. That was manic. But let's have a look at the replay, because there's a couple of things I want to see. First off, let's see Lando Norris leading the race. Now I want to see the moment Max Verstappen got past him. I believe it's going to be towards the back of the circuit, because this is obviously one of the main moments. That here we go. So this will be, it'll be setting him up here. Yep, he's right up the rear of Lando, and then all that's going to happen here, he's going to go to the left, go to the outside, and that will be Max sweeping round to take the lead. Leclerc is also losing a place to Perez there, dropping to fourth, riding on board with Fernando Alonso. So around this point as well, we saw Ricciardo drop out of the race. What kind of drama befell him? Was it just a car failure? Yes, it was. So Ricciardo pulling off then with a car issue. Unlucky for him. And so Leclerc just dropped back quite a lot as that went on. But look at this. Ocon's in 15th at this point. He ends up 8th. So this is going to be Lance Stroll on Lewis Hamilton. And again, if you're wondering what's going on, we have finished the race. This is just me looking at some key moments from the AI in this race. And I believe this is where Lance Stroll got ahead of Lewis Hamilton and moved himself up into P8. Stroll, one of the best drivers of this race, it's got to be said. And there he goes. So now we're going to watch. This is going to be Oscar Piastri on Lewis Hamilton. This is going to be for P9. And, oh, a little bit of contact there, actually, from Piastri. Just giving Lewis Hamilton a bit of a nudge. Here we go now. This is when the battle next happens. So Piastri's going to have a look up the inside. And I think this is where he just doesn't quite have the momentum to do it. And again, making a little tap. And the next lap, I believe, well, we've seen me. This is where I take advantage of Pierre Gasly. So Gasly's going to be very slow around there. I'm going to go around the outside. And then I'm tucking in for Oscar Piastri. And we're going around the outside of Piastri. That was pretty ballsy. I obviously got past later. Norris then was back ahead of Max Verstappen. No idea where that happened, but I'm going to assume that Max Verstappen gets him back at the usual overtaking spot of choice for the AI, which is towards the right hander there. Pulls it to the outside, and Max is through. But what I want to know is, where did Lando take the damage? Because, well, that's Perez moving ahead of Sainz as well, so that was a key moment. So where did Lando take a hit? Because Norris has been was pretty fast up to a point, and even here he's in second place. So what happened and where is my question. I'm not sure it's this lap, but I think it'll be the next lap. I'm pretty sure somewhere soon Norris takes a hit, because his pace just disappeared into nothing. Also, Alonso retired from the race pretty close to this point. I'm still not seeing where Norris took a hit, so I don't know. So did he also have a car problem? I wonder if he also had a problem, because this is where he started losing places. And there's Carlos Sainz getting past him. Also, Gasly was up in 9th at one point, so I want to see what unfolded with all that. Well, Hamilton's dropped to 12th, so what happened to Hamilton? Well, he just lost places. Okay, this is my move on Lance Stroll. Damn, that was a bit savage. But yeah, so Norris looks like he just had a car problem then. Norris looking like the car just let him down. But Ocon is the real big mover here. So let's go back here. We've got Hamilton and Gasly battling. Gasly's backed out. He's lost a bit of momentum. And I think we're going to see Ocon just go to the outside of his teammate. No. So Ocon's going to get past around about here, I'm going to guess. So, oh, okay. So Gasly got blocked in by Hamilton and Ocon just went round the outside, and Gasly caught napping by his teammate, and Ocon moves forward. So this is where Norris was limping. This is where we gained the place on Lando Norris. I really want to see that end move with George Russell, because for me, I felt myself losing the car while I was doing that overtake. But there's the move on Lando Norris. Norris just not really with much momentum at all. So what happens first? Does Norris pass Leclerc? Does Leclerc pass Norris? Or does Stroll get them both? What actually unfolds here? Well, I think this is going to be Stroll passing Leclerc. And Stroll actually has Piastri right behind him. So fair play to Lance for not letting Oscar go. There's going to be Lance. Well, that's going to be job done on Leclerc because he's limping at that point. So Lance Stroll moving into 7th. Verstappen dominating out front at this point. There's Piastri getting past Leclerc. Well, maybe not quite yet. But Stroll's going to have a go on Lando Norris pretty soon. Is that going to be this lap or next lap? That's going to be next lap, I think. Oh, there we go, here we go. Look at this. 2 cars wheel to wheel. I'm trying to force myself in. There was no way through there. Oh my god, that looks scary. The car is wobbling. Let's have a slow look at that. So that's where I'm seeing the gap. I'm thinking there is a way I can get through here. Hang on, let's get rid of that. So those two are battling. And then as Sainz moves to the middle, I'm seeing a line there. Can I get through and outbrake them both? But then I realise I'm not in a good place. And I try to back out of it and nearly lose the car in doing so. Multiple corrections happening. And somehow I managed to follow something akin to the racing line. So let's have a look at onboard. Let's have a look at that onboard. So Sainz is going to move across to the middle. There's a gap. I'm having a look at it thinking, can we have it? But then I'm thinking better of it as we get to around this point. But I realise Sainz is also on the brake. So I'm having to brake while trying not to hit Sainz. So it's gone from an overtake to I don't want to hit him. And it's around this. See, look, I'm looking at the gap here. But at that point, I'm thinking better of it. But then Sainz brakes, which means I've got to jam on the brakes and take to that little bit of track on the left. And I'm jamming on the brakes while doing it. But I'm also having to correct and stop myself losing the car and turn into the corner here. And somehow, you can see the understeer, but somehow the car is going for the corner and we don't lose the car and we're ahead of George Russell. I'd love to see that one from his angle. Oh, Russell's very close to the barrier there. So he's having to take avoiding action as well. There's me moving to one side and I'm nearly losing it and having my own moment as well. And somehow, no crash, no disaster, nothing of the sort. And now we're going to see what happened to Verstappen. A sprint race that he was dominating and had full control of, but at the end of it, the car just let him down. Look, he's slowing down there, and I think he's going to be swearing on the radio. And this is the moment that Sergio Perez took the lead of the race. And now we've got Stroll all over the back of Lando Norris. So let's see how that one happened. I believe it's going to happen here. Yep, Stroll popping to the outside. Piastri nearly lost it there as well. And Ocon has already got past Leclerc. So what happened to Leclerc to make him lose 2 places? Hamilton's battling Logan Sargent. What happened to Lewis? Right, so Charles is ahead here. We're going to watch this from Gasly's perspective. Ocon just breezes past, like Leclerc's not moving. Gasly has a look, but it just doesn't happen. But we know now that he's going to go through round the outside here. And while all this is cracking off, when did that happen? Oh, so Sargent's been ahead of Hamilton for a little while now. I didn't see when that happened. So this is going to be Logan Sargent getting past Lewis Hamilton. That's not something you see every day. Logan Sargent is going past Hamilton. And he moves up into 12th position, which becomes 11th. But I think on the last lap, Hamilton takes him back. I mean, it's only for 11th, so there's not really anything in it. But here we go. This is going to be Lewis Hamilton with the last overtake of the day. I'm disappointed to see my teammate all the way down in 17th. But there's Lewis Hamilton getting past Logan Sargent. And that was your last bit of action in the stream. Right, thank you for watching this live stream. Join me again when I do the Australian Grand Prix 58 laps, which will be started from 3rd position. Until then, enjoy these highlights. I've been Joe, TTFN, ta-ta for now, take care.